Three, two, one. Hey everybody, this is Victor. I am here with Jared, and we're going to be talking about how he got another flip with a potential net profit of about $51,000. Hey, how you doing?
What is up, Victor? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is the second interview we've done, number 2,
Yeah.
and you've been making really good progress. So, want to hear your story and hear how you're doing.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty excited. As you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, this deal in particular, I'm pretty pumped about it because I've never done a deal where I made more than 50, and that's the potential on this one. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's really cool. No, I'm excited for you too. So you're still, before we get into all that stuff, it's a bit of a recap from the last one, but you're still full-time at Swamp Fitness.
Oh yeah. So I would say that's like that's still my main gig, but honestly at the same time I'm kind of like I'm all over the place right now. So fortunately I do have a staff and whatnot, so I'm not having to spend, like, for instance, 40-hour work weeks, but it's still kind of my main source of income and whatnot. But I don't know, I kind of see like real estate really kind of doing well and stuff like that. So that's feels like it could be changing here. So,
So yeah, we'll play that by ear. Yeah, who knows? That's how it was for me, because I eventually switched over to real estate full time because I enjoyed it a lot, and it was just a good time. You can make really well.
What were you doing before real estate?
I was doing healthcare. Yeah, healthcare.
What exactly in healthcare?
It was I was a home health administrator. So home health is when somebody gets discharged out of the hospital, they send out a nurse or physical therapist, occupational therapist to help them recover at home. And I was the administrator, so I ran the agency.
Interesting.
And,
that's really cool.
So I did that. I didn't like it, so I'm happier with real estate, to be honest.
I was gonna say Swamp Fitness could definitely have help in that area with certain times, man. Like, because it's like in-home personal training, and so anyway, that's funny, man.
It's cool. Pretty similar story, yeah, pretty similar thing, but it just wasn't for me. So I'm happy with where I'm at, honestly, full-time real estate.
Yeah, man, you're killing it. You're doing well.
Okay, so. No, I appreciate it, but yeah, but I do want to focus on you for this one, for this case study here. So we got this deal here. The deal is in what city? In
Hawthorne.
Florida. It's in Hawthorne, Florida. Okay, and let's start with this. Like, how did you find the deal? How did you source it?
Yeah. So, funny thing with finding this deal, it was found via bandit signs, which, bandit signs are not necessarily the most glorious marketing channel in terms of, there's a lot of, different perspectives on it. But anyway, this one, that's how it was found. And, it was a pretty easy deal in terms of getting it locked up. And then what did you ask me the second part of the question?
So that was the first part. So you found it with bandit signs. So put out some bandit signs. The guy calls you. What was the negotiation process like? Did it take several months? Did you give an offer and he accepted it? Or tell me, just walk me through that, how that went.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was in this particular one. And I, don't get me wrong, I've had other phone calls where I've like visited, several, like a decent amount of other properties where it didn't really pan out and whatnot. But this one happened to be pretty easy. Like I showed up and it was kind of like, I'm looking to sell it. And, we walked through the property and then, I made an offer and then, he said, that's not going to work. Or he kind of said, like that's not going to work, but I think I should be able to do this. And I said, okay, well, if I could do that, let's move forward, like basically, so that number that he said, it worked out for me to move forward with.
Okay. So pretty straightforward process, no prolonged negotiation. It just worked and accepted.
Not with this one, because there's other ones I beg to differ.
Right. So this one was good. Yeah.
This one was just easy.
And then in terms of this one, what are you thinking in terms of renovations? Is it like easy where you just paint it and it's good to go? Or what are some of the renovations, or if you could
I'd say
talk
it's
about
like
that, that'd
a
be helpful.
medium-sized renovation,
Okay.
about $35,000, and yeah, I mean it's nothing outrageous for sure, but yeah, but it definitely needs updating, you know, paint inside and out. There's some wood rot and things of that nature, and yeah, I mean 35 altogether, all in, I would say.
Okay, 35 altogether. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty medium, like not gut job. Everything has to be done. Put
Right.
100,000 into the place. It's still standing up, right? It still has a roof for
It's
4 walls. So
it does. It's still functioning.
there we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. So it's not, to be clear, and I want to make sure everyone's looped in here. So it's not closed yet. Like you're closing on it pretty soon, and you still have to
Correct.
go. So this is all projected numbers.
Yes.
Okay.
That is all accurate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all based on, what comps are basically, what the comps and surrounding and whatnot. And, but I feel like they're not stretched out or anything.
Hmm.
If anything, you know, they're on point or maybe conservative potentially.
Hmm. So yeah, I'm with you there. I know we've reviewed this deal together, and we're running conservative numbers. Everything seems to be on point, so it might be even more potential profit, which is good.
Yeah.
What about the situation with regards to, is it vacant? Is it tenant occupied? Is it owner occupied? And kind of talk through that situation, how it's affected the deal.
Yeah. So there it is occupied by a tenant, and they were staying in there on a month-to-month lease.
Hmm.
And basically, when I let the owner know that I, wanted to move forward, then um, the owner gave a notice to the tenant that they had to be out, and they've been in the process of moving out, and so they will be moved out by the time closing happens.
Hmm. Well, there we go.
And
Okay.
yeah, and then also I'll be partnering on this deal, and yeah, and basically uh, it is basically going to be where like I found the deal, and I um, am going to have like the property paid for, and then my partner will bring in, like, kind of manage the rehab aspect of it, and and yeah, and then take care of, like, you know it getting sold and whatnot. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what are some of those numbers, if you don't mind sharing? Because you mentioned like
Sure.
repair price and all that stuff. What do you think some of the numbers look like?
Yeah, so repair, I know we talked about repair price. So we're at we'll say about 44, roughly thereabouts, ish, like somewhere around there, with closing costs. And then 35 is where the rehab costs are, and then expecting to sell it around 160.
Okay. Yeah, so those are solid numbers.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. So when you were negotiating with the guy and he almost like accepted your counteroffer and came in really low, were you like jumping for joy, or did you let that show at all? Like, oh my God, I didn't think you'd actually accept it.
Oh my gosh, no, I definitely did not jump for joy. I was inside, maybe inside, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, I was just like, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from. Um, yeah, if I could do that price, would you be able to move forward? But
So you played it cool. That's good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, totally. Got to play it cool.
There we go. Okay. Well, very good. Yeah. So this is fantastic. I mean, you got this last flip we did an interview for. We got this one coming up for yourself. So you're on track. You're being consistent. You're doing really well here. Like any lessons that stand out to you in going through this flip? Like anything you learned that you're going to apply moving forward for real estate?
Going through this flip specifically,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think that through.
Hmm.
This deal specifically, don't give up. Like, I mean, like, I think that's what kind of pops up first for me in regards to this deal, is just because, I've definitely been trying to look for deals consistently. And it's like, I think I've heard that about 5% of sellers are motivated and whatnot. And then 95% are going to look for retail value. And so it's kind of a numbers game. Like, you know, we've always talked about that. You've always said that. And it's true. I mean, you know, like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you hear a lot of people say like, the more no's you get, you're closer to that yes. Right. And so I think that that's it. Like, just kind of keep moving forward. Don't like, just have faith, and, you know, just kind of keep moving forward and don't give up. Yeah. I mean, but and outside of this deal, other advice that like I struggle with so much, but I'm going to give it, but I need it. I need the advice, but I don't necessarily follow it. And we've talked about this a million times, and I just, it's all I talk about because it's hard for me. I know that I need it, but it's hard for me to follow it. And it's the whole idea of like the one thing mentality. Like it's, you know, you're able to go much more, like have more depth with when you're pursuing one thing. Like you're able to like be laser focused and go really far with that. But like, for whatever reason, I'm just like kind of all over the place, and like, you know, and it's just because I get excited about different things, and I guess I fall for all those things and I do well at them, but it's hard for me to like say no to all these other, call them shiny objects, because they're all like exciting to me. Like I really like doing it, but at the same time, I think there is a sense of, you know, truth to, if I said no, if I only focused on one thing, I'd get like a lot better at it. Like things would be improved. And it would just kind of exponentially, you know, like all the results would grow because I'd keep improving there. But I tell myself that, but I'm still like, I love doing all the things. So anyways.
No, it's good advice. Like one thing, like really focus on one thing, and just really drill down on that. And to build on your other point, just don't give up. Because I know you were making offers, getting leads. And then on this one, just everything lined up, and it was like magic. Like, oh, it's a great deal. It's a great property. The numbers make sense. The seller is easy to deal with, and then it just worked. And that's a formula of the numbers. That's a cause and effect of the numbers, because you've gone out there and done so many offers.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I know we covered this last time, but would you recommend others work with me?
Duh.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
Well, I appreciate that. Perfect. And why should someone listening take action now?
Why should someone? Because, well, real estate can change your life. I mean, no question. It's because of real estate that I have made leaps and bounds within my financial, both financial and time freedom. And I think that learning like what you coach people on, flipping houses and knowing how to buy houses at a discount, all of this is like, it's so key to, you know, it's like a great, you know, skill that you really need to be able to grow in real estate. I mean, regardless of the strategy, understanding how to find discounted properties and then experience with flipping it, like knowing that is going to be valuable regardless of what you do in real estate. So, I mean, it's just, there's so many reasons that I can go into about real estate, but then specifically what you're coaching with the whole, you know, from beginning to end of flipping houses. I mean, it's definitely going to behoove people to work with you. And also I'd say that I'm like watching as you've created this coaching program, and you like right now there's not there's not like gazillions and gazillions of students. So you have a very personal relationship, and you know, like you're able to really help each of your students, and you're always there to help everyone, and you're flipping at the same time because you have your flipping business is kind of like automated. You've created it to be that. So just the fact that you've been there, you've done it in the beginning, and you can spend that time with people. Not all coaching programs have that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of coaching programs are like, you know, just follow these videos and do this, but don't really get to have that one-on-one, you know, attention. And so there's just a lot that you have to offer people. So I definitely would recommend it.
That's really kind. Yeah, it's still a really small group, and I know everyone one-on-one. I give everyone the attention they need, and
Yeah.
it's helpful. Like going through something you haven't gone through before, it just makes it easier. Like just like, oh, I have a quick question. Who do I ask? I remember when I started, I didn't really have that. It was like, I have a question. I have no clue what to do. You just struggle with it for a while, and a couple months later, you find like, oh, well, that's what I should have done. So it's helpful to have that. So I do appreciate that, though. I definitely do appreciate that. And I do appreciate you taking the time to do another interview. I think this is a great deal. It's going to be a slam dunk, and the numbers are there. So just now a matter of execution. Any final thoughts as we wrap up here?
What other thoughts do I have? Yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned this on one of our coaching calls recently. This book, The Compound Effect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really like connecting with what it's teaching, and just this idea of like, the truth is that you like these little tiny habits that you do every day, like really like they add up so much, and they really have this huge compound effect that can help with whatever you're trying to pursue. This goes for definitely in real estate, but it goes in all areas of life, whether it's health. But for me, like right now, like I think I mentioned this in the last interview, but I'm like learning how to play the guitar, and I'm learning how to handstand for a long period of time. And so it's like crazy. Like I'm seeing progress in both, and I'm not even doing it every day for 5 minutes. It's like 5 minutes, like 2-3 days a week. And I'm seeing progress. If I did it every day, 5 minutes, like that's crazy. Like
That's really cool.
5 minutes a day. Like that blows my mind that you could really like whatever it is, if it's like looking for deals or whatever the case may be, it's like it's that consistency, like each and every day, like just boom, 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 like it's a part of your life. You do it, and then you get really good results. And so that idea, it's like it's hard to get started. I think a lot of people feel it's hard to get started with whatever the case, whatever they're trying to pursue, but it doesn't have to be this overwhelming, like I got to do all this stuff to start. No, it's like you could start by like I tell, I'm in the fitness business. I tell people like you can start by like going, doing like a 10-minute workout or a walk. Like if you're not working out at all, like it doesn't have to be this overwhelming thing. So in all aspects of what you're pursuing, get into that routine and start with something that you feel like I can do that. And you can always grow from there. But that's all. Compound effect is pretty cool.
That's really good advice. So you recommend that book as well for people listening?
For sure. Yeah.
So Compound Effect. I think it's Darren Hardy, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
Cool. Well, it's a great place to end it. Appreciate it. Really good advice. Really good story. Hopefully everything goes perfectly with this flip of yours. And yeah, thanks for your time.
Sounds good. Thanks, Victor. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it. We'll see you guys.